Florida, and a look here at the downtown against the sunset. Just absolutely beautiful. Welcome and happy holidays from 2K Sports. It's time for NBA action. With Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Tip-off moments away, and State Farm presents the starting lineups. And guys, taking a look at Udonis Haslem, what will we see from him?
Well, for many years, he was really the cornerstone player as far as the culture of the Miami Heat. You know, he's a hard-working, tough, defensive-minded guy. And he's a guy you really want on your team because of his ability to fight and scrap and claw for 48 minutes.
Not to mention a great teammate, Steve. UD, a guy who will set the tone in the locker room and sacrifice on the floor for the greater good. They're just off a road trip, and the Heat are looking to settle back in here at home. Last time they met was in Dallas, where they beat the Mavs.
And there's no question what the overriding factor was in that game, Clark. It was the big edge they had on the glass.
Well, the level of energy they had in the win, Steve, was what impressed me. I mean, it was lacking on the other side, and it really showed through the rebounding numbers.
Now here's LeBron. Passes to Heinrich. Out to Wade. Over Marion. The shot by LeBron. No good. Looking at Miami, they took their win in their last game against the Magic in Orlando.
And boy, did they protect the basket well in that one. They kept a lot of bodies down low. The rotations were solid, and it paid off with a lot of blocks in that game.
Yeah, they really wanted to establish that intimidation factor. And, Steve, I think they did so by devoting a lot of manpower to the low post.
Wade, a screen on Nowitzki. Mayo against Heinrich. On the wing, Dwayne Wade. And Chris Bosh with the slam.
Boy, that kind of hustle you just love to see.
And it gets his teammates fired up.
Yeah, especially with the powerful slam to finish things off.
They get it back. That's good.
And we see him get so many points that way because the effort is there constantly on the offensive glass.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Well, guys, I was able to talk with Rick Carlisle for just a moment. This is their second time facing the defending NBA champs after losing their first meeting. Coach told me we're going to try and change things up a bit, maybe slow the game up some more. We can't have LeBron and Wade just running out in transition as often as they please. It's clear their focus is defensive transition, guys.
Thanks, Doris.
You know, and moving forward for Miami, they probably won't have a lot of cap room because of the big contracts of Bosh, Wade, and LeBron. But remember, it is easy to lure free agents to Miami because of the presence of those three, and then also the attraction of living in Miami.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
LeBron right side. He dishes it to Bosh. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup. Bosh has got his second basket. Well, Steve, going back to Miami and them trying to lure talent down to South Beach, not only the city itself, but veterans line up to play, knowing, like we were talking about before, Clark, they have a chance to win a championship.
And that's the motivation, and as long as the big three are there, they won't have any trouble finding players who have been let go or in the last years of their contract who want to play for a winner, and those kind of players are willing to give up some cheese for some gold.
Well, for him, that finger roll is almost second nature. That's a tough shot for most players.
And Vince Carter again.
Good work turning that into an easy 2-point. He can attack the rim as well as anybody.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
And I think it's clear he's gotten better in that department since last season. I mean, he looks a lot more comfortable at the line now, and he's getting better results. Seeing the Mavs in the playoffs is something that is almost a given at this point. I mean, they've made it each season since 2001.
Now here's LeBron. He's coming off a 22-point game against Orlando.
And he played great at the defensive end of the floor, too, Kevin. They had a couple of important block shots in that game, so good all-around effort.
Came in inside, working on Bosh. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here. Going back to Dallas, you do take for granted that somehow, some way, they'll find their way into the postseason, Steve. And but the results obviously were they just got in, but they couldn't do anything once they got there.
Well, I give Mark Cuban a ton of credit for what Clark talked about, just the longevity of their success. And a lot of that has to do with Dirk Nowitzki as well. But Cuban had a vision. He's put together an amazing franchise, and Dirk has been the superstar to build around. What a run it's been for Dallas.
Mark down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. And some changes here for the Heat. Joel Anthony comes in for Chris Bosh. And it's Allen in for Udonis Haslem. And then for Dallas, Crowder, he's checked in for Marion. And it's Collison in for Vince Carter. Collison kicks to Brand. It's stolen by Wade. And here we go. LeBron heading to the hoop. Oh, my goodness.
What a huge play. That's what he does. Attack the heart of the defense and get straight to the rim.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play. Well, it was the Dallas Mavericks in their last game, a loss to the Wizards in Washington.
Yeah, they allowed far too many open looks in that game, guys.
Can't disagree with you there, Steve. I mean, that's exactly what did them in. They didn't apply nearly enough pressure on their shooters. That's very uncharacteristic for him to miss that shot with such little defensive pressure. Well, I heard that LeBron still rides his bike to the arena now and again on game day, and he's an avid cyclist, I guess. And when you're down in Miami, you got to make the most of that Miami weather, don't you?
Yes, you do. Collison, the pass to Jones. No luck. And it's Miami the other way.
He's always going to have a difficult time finishing when the defense is in his face like that.
Here's LeBron. They get it again. Anthony with the bucket. Anthony's got his first basket of the night.
Textbook offensive rebounding right there. I love that. Those putbacks are buckets any team loves to get.
And going back to LeBron, you know, he's always enjoyed bicycles. He said as a kid in Akron, in fact, he'd tool around on his bike looking for pickup games.
I understand that feeling.
Steve, you're a big bicyclist, I know. What do you think about that story?
Well, I think it's great. You know, and he has his charity event. It's called Wheels for Education every summer in Akron, a charity bike-a-thon, encouraging kids to stay active and to stay in school.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Joel Anthony. Lewis comes in for LeBron. Mike Miller's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Chalmers in for Kirk Heinrich.
And a great start offensively.
Yeah, they've come out strong. I mean, really scoring and playing with confidence.
Now the Heat with it. They're on a 12-4 run right now. Chalmers against Bobois. Chalmers dishes to Allen. Over Bobois. Again, the Heat good for two.
Great display of that mid-range touch right now.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking a step in and knocking down a few. I know you were a great marksman from the three-point line, but sometimes people only see the game in threes and layups. But that mid-range game is alive and well here tonight.
Miami with the ball after the Mavericks pick up three. It's stolen by Bobois. Here's Cunningham.
Oh, man, what a play. Guys, I'm going to need just a second to get myself together here.
Leaves you speechless, doesn't it, Clark? Huh? Wow.
Man, I don't blame you, Clark. That dunk was unbelievable.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Miller outside. Bobois pulls it in. The Mavericks trailing. Here's Jones. And it's off from three-point range. And Chalmers kicks to Allen. Three-pointer. No good. And so both teams trading buckets as we have the first quarter. Heat out front, up by 2. Back after this from... Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And when you consider how the Heat are doing, Stephen Clark, what are your thoughts?
And that first quarter was all about pace, guys, because this club really got out into transition, and that's how they've built this lead.
They like to play fast, and they're doing a nice job filling the lane.
D-Wade out there with Heinrich. Then it's James Jones. And it's LeBron James. And it's Bosh in at the 5 spot. That's the group on the floor for Miami. Now Kaman. Still looking to get him his
Yeah, when you play against him, Kevin, the first thing you want to address is making it harder on him to go to work down low. If you let him get position inside, it's going to be a long night for you.
And let's give him some more credit where more credit is due for his role as a team leader. I mean, he's somebody who brings out the best in his teammates whenever he's on the floor.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Joel Anthony comes in for James Jones, and it's Norris Cole in for Kirk Heinrich.
Well, everybody knows about the big three in Miami with James, Bosh, and Wade. I think the question going forward with the new CBA really penalizing teams for going deep into the luxury tax, it'll be interesting to see how Miami handles that going forward, because those three guys make up the vast majority of their salary cap. So adding other players may be difficult.
And the Heat making a change here. Lewis is checked in. Dallas also making some changes. Jones comes in for Crowder, and it's Bobo in for Vince Carter.
Can't get a much better look than that, though.
Sure can't. Not one you'd expect him to miss there.
And Norris Cole's going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. And as it's been for Miami in the first few years of the Big Three era, they've had to rely on vets coming in and not making too much money. They're trying to sell them on being a champion as opposed to getting fat in the wallet.
Yeah, and it'll continue to be like that, Kevin. There's just no other way it can happen because they really don't have a chance to add any additional big names because they've already got three of the biggest names that you can get. So it's about finding the right pieces to surround those guys and see if that's good enough to win a title. Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Miami. And Dallas with a change here too. Rand's checked in. Ball's knocked loose. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession.
Right here, over these last 10 games on the Heat schedule, this is how they stack up in the league stats. First in steals, first in free throw percentage, and they're number 2 in fewest turnovers a game. I call that squeezing the orange, and that's a team effort, everybody valuing the ball.
Yeah, Clark, this is a team that scares opponents because of that steals number that you talked about. They're so good at anticipating plays. They seem to have a good scheme defensively night in and night out. They know their roles. They make the rotations. They read the passing lanes, and they frequently get out there, make steals, and then get out in their transition game. And, you know, guys, Mario Chalmers has been a good fit in Miami as that point guard because he doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time. LeBron and Wade can handle it. He can spot up and take threes. And then at the other end of the floor, he's a scrappy defender as well.
Here's Miller up and in on the layup. Now it's a 7-point Heat lead.
Nice touch near the hoop.
And they get it. No good from Brand. Heat have gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6.
And, you know, you look at a guy like Mario Chalmers. I mean, some of his weaknesses as a player are minimized playing for the Heat. He's not a great finisher or an elite playmaker, but again, he can leave that to LeBron and D. Wade to create and play off of those guys. It really helps his game.
And Elton Brand pulls it down. Brand's got 4 rebounds in this game. Marion with it, and it's Miller picking him up. Jones, the pass to Marion. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. Well, Heat leading by 7. Kicks it to Allen. No one near him. Yes, it's LeBron picking up the assist. And that's now 6 points for Allen. And this is a good time to show you some of the league's most disruptive defenders over the past month. The steal leaders at the small forward. 4th, LeBron James.
And that's a group of perhaps the most well-rounded defenders in the league. Solid on the perimeter with the ability to block shots on the inside.
And that's the ideal makeup of a wing defender. The perimeter defense is really a requirement. I mean, you've got to be able to do that, but you can also block shots like these guys can. You become even more valuable.
Offensive rebound. Back to Miller. Now the dish to Chalmers. Over Brand. And the basket by Chalmers. Chalmers has got his first bucket in this one.
Well, guys, Eric Spoelstra is really a young coach, but he's worked his way up from video coordinator to being one of the outstanding head coaches in the league. To be where he is coaching one of the very elite teams in the NBA in Miami. You couldn't ask for a better position or a better opportunity, but I really have great respect and admiration for the way he's handled that and grown into that position. It's one of the better stories in the league in my mind.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Chris Bosh has checked in for Haslem. James Jones comes in for Mike Miller. Dwayne Wade's checked in for Ray Allen. And it's Heinrich in for Mario Chalmers. Mavericks trailed by 7.
Well, you talk about the job that Eric Spoelstra has done for the Heat, Clark. A young coach, certainly, but he's earned the opportunity to coach this roster, and he's shown that he's up to the task. One of the brightest young coaches in the game.
LeBron kicks to Heinrich. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. LeBron's now got his 3rd assist on the night. Mavericks shooting 43% from the floor. Carter against Wade. Good look. Can't hit. Good D by Wade.
I like the work there, contesting that shot that looked like it was going to be easy, but they forced the miss.
You know what? He got it in close, but couldn't finish in traffic.
Carter for 3. It's hauled in by the Heat. LeBron's now got 6 rebounds here tonight. Wade. The Mavericks pull it in.
You see the defenders get out of his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the bucket, but not that time.
Heinrich against Jones, and the call will be against Dante Jones. That's his first foul. A different look for Miami. Joel Anthony's checked in for LeBron. Lewis comes in for James Jones, and it's Norris Cole in for Kirk Heinrich. Crowder, he's checked in for Dallas. Mayo comes in for Dante Jones. Bosh dishes to Cole. Gets it to go.
That was some very sluggish defense. Where's the effort?
Mavericks trailed by 9. Collison, the pass to Carter. Over Lewis. It's hauled in by the Heat. Bosh has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
Right now, he's in a bit of a funk. I'd look for them to look at other options on offense.
The Mavericks shooting in the second quarter has been pretty embarrassing, just 27%. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way.
Way too loose on that inbounds pass.
Ray Allen, he's checked in for Miami. Chalmers comes in for Norris Cole. Dallas also making some changes. Brand comes in for Chris Kaman. And it's Marion in for Darren Collison. Wade outside. He goes up, stuffs it through.
He spoke loud on making a statement that play.
Yeah, that was brute force, battling for the offensive board, then taking it right back up there.
That's just all about strength and energy, guys.
And the first half is now in the books. Heat lead by 8. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
The NBA season is rolling right along. Let's look back at the first half. Miami up on top against Dallas. They've benefited from some excellent contribution from their bench, providing scoring in bunches when called upon. It's been a major advantage. An impressive first half for LeBron. He's picked up half a dozen points, and in addition to that, he's been a factor on the glass as well. A couple of helpers, too. And a tough matchup, but the Mavericks are staying afloat. The outside shot just not there for them today, but that certainly hasn't stopped them from trying. We might see some...
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment.
What a great game for Vince Carter in this one. He's got 13 points, and he's done his job at the charity stripe. He's gotten 4 of his points from there.
And that's a good place to get them. You know, they don't come easier than that, but you've got to get yourself there first.
On the floor for Dallas, Sean Marion and Dirk Nowitzki, the forwards. Carter is out there with Mayo, and it's Kaman in at the center, locking down the middle.
Well, I think as time has gone on, the Heat hate has died down a little bit. You know, with LeBron and Bosh first signing there, they were really thrust into that villain role, booed in every arena on the road. But I think things have calmed down a little bit, and while they'll never be accepted as an underdog, people do appreciate them as a great team.
And Marion gets it to go. The Heat leading by 8. Heinrich outside. Gets it to go. Heinrich's got 4 this quarter. And for LeBron, I think the backlash was the hardest. An Ohio native, when he left the Cavaliers, Clark, obviously, it was not pretty.
No, it was not, and he admits that. It's unfortunate it unfolded the way he did, but I think going forward, and as time passes, people will let it go as they should, and LeBron has become, I think, a better man as a result of having gone through that, and a better player, too.
They are in attack mode right now. That's 10 straight points, guys, all coming inside the paint.
And, Steve, if I'm them, I'd keep going right to the heart of that defense like they have been until they do something about it. If they don't offer resistance, take everything you can get in there. Man, he makes a lot of tremendous plays at that end of the court. We see it from him every game.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
Yeah, guys, I think he feels like he can make a few improvements during this timeout. Just kind of make a couple of adjustments, get his club back on track.
You know, coaches are always tweaking and tinkering with things mid-game. Actually, sometimes they overdo it.
Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. Dirk Nowitzki with the rebound.
You know, you look at Rick Carlisle, and I think he's evolved as a coach. His teams early on in his tenure tended to play kind of slowly, very defensive-minded and tough. But you think of the Dallas team that won the title in 2011. They were freewheeling. They were excellent offensively, great spacing. So I think Rick Carlisle has really evolved as a coach.
LeBron kicks to Wade. Back to LeBron. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. That's now 8 points for LeBron.
Everything working for him out of the half as they've hit 4 of their first 5 shots.
Steve, you were talking about Carlisle's evolution as a coach, adapting his system to fit his team. That's a hallmark, I think, of a pretty good coach.
Yeah, I think so, Kevin. I mean, you have to be adaptable in this game because personnel is different from season to season, sometimes from week to week, depending on injuries. And I think Carlisle has shown that versatility. He's really good, especially offensively, in drawing up schemes to free up players and give them space and take advantage of their talents, and that's shown with this Dallas club.
Wade gets the bucket. Wade's got 10 points.
Love the finish there. Not much defense, though.
Carter outside. He kicks it to Nowitzki. Fader on the way, and it's Haslam with the rebound. Haslam's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
Solid job by them on the glass here tonight. +8 in rebounding.
Well, you have to rebound to win, and that's exactly what's happening right now. And all 10 of their last points have come inside the paint, so defensively you've got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, and you got to do a little more to stop it, too. I mean, it's coming way too easy for them. At some points, you just got to buck up and say it's not going to happen.
Here's Mayo. Looking for his first bucket of the game. Over Heinrich. Shot by Mayo is no good. And here's Miami. Big stretch here going 10-2. And Heinrich gets it to go.
I love the flow that they've been playing with offensively tonight. This is an impressive performance.
Well, and that lead they have just continues to grow and grow.
And the shot is good from Nowitzki.
He can be dangerous from outside. Sure, he didn't get one to go in the first, but we know he can get on the roll and knock him down.
Mayo against Heinrich. T-Wade on the wing. Using his post moves to get the 2 points. Wade's got 14 points for the game.
Hasn't had a whole lot of misses here in the quarter. Very sharp shooting right now. It's fun to watch. 3 straight buckets in the paint. They're making it look effortless.
Well, speaking of effortless, you'd like to see a little more out of the defense. How about trying, guys? What a half they're having from beyond the arc. It's getting ridiculous.
And there's no reason they shouldn't keep attacking from out there. I mean, they've got it going on in a big way now.
And some changes here for the Heat. Rashard Lewis. He's checked in for Haslam. Allen comes in for Chris Bosh. And it's Norris Cole in for Kirk Heinrich. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Eldon Brand's checked in for Kanan. Crowder comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Dante Jones, he's checked in for Sean Marion. And it's Collison in for Vince Carter.
Well, they say control the glass, control the game. They're definitely controlling the glass.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's been the case here tonight. Big lead they're enjoying on the glass. They're just getting better offensively as the game goes along, making good choices and getting high percentage shots.
And they're playing hard and playing smart too, Steve. They've just been very, very good.
That's 9 straight points coming off 3 3-pointers. The defense just getting shelled.
Steve, the threes are killing them. I think they've got to find a way to chase them off the three-point line.
Well, as skilled as LeBron is, what's most impressive is his athleticism. I think you could make the argument that he is the greatest athlete, not only in the history of the NBA, but in the history of sports.
Wow. Did you really say that?
Sure did.
I'd have to do some work on that one, partner. I do agree he's in that discussion and category. And you know how big and strong most of the athletes are in the NBA, and he can make a lot of them look like crash dummies when he's headed to the basket and they're trying to keep him from getting to the rim.
Well, come up with your list, and we'll talk about this.
Heinrich, he's covered by Collison. Heinrich kicks to LeBron. Leads him in there. Tipped away. Stolen by Brand. And they're moving it up. Nowitzki takes a three. Great D that time from LeBron. Here's Heinrich. No luck. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits at your Heat. Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Who's at the Sprite uncontainable game in this one? Well, let's send it out to our Dorisburg. Doris?
And Kevin, for that great stretch the Heat put together, they get the Uncontainable Game Award. They came out of halftime completely rededicated to the defensive end, and that allowed them to gain this advantage. Definitely a game changer as they head to the fourth.
Okay, Doris, thank you. And that was quite a run, guys. That made a big impact on where we are right now.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say, Kevin. It was a major turning point. You know, they really hit on something that in the blink of an eye had them scoring almost at will.
Well, you got to share the credit for that kind of run. I mean, you can't just say it was all about offense. There was some stingy, stiff defense being played, too.
So with Wade on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. Haslam and Bosch are up front. Chalmers is out there with Heinrich, and it's LeBron in at the 3 slot. Carter with the 3. That's good. Carter's got 19 points.
And if their last 5 makes, all have been from long range.
Yeah, and the defense has not done a good job of pressing in and denying. I mean, they're hanging back, playing on their heels. They're not being the aggressors here, and the offense is taking advantage of it.
And Wade slams it in.
Well, they ran a nice play there, Kevin, to set up the easy dunk.
Yeah, he got help from his teammate and ran his man right straight into the pick.
Yep, and that's the offensive player's job. Run him into the screen.
And it was a great pick, too, Clark. I mean, he may have lowered his shoulder a little bit, but he got him pretty clean.
Ray Allen, he's checked in for Udonis Haslem. Well, Heat leading by 15. Heinrich dishes the box. Goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
That was a nice, strong one-hand jam there.
Yeah, brought it back and ripped it down.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's nice.
Good.
He is just so good from that range, guys.
You know, never mind with the height advantage he had there.
Heinrich with it. Now Mayo defending. It's LeBron with the drive. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks. Brand's got 5 rebounds tonight. Following this one, they get to host the Hornets. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. Heat have gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. Wade kicks to Heinrich. Inside to Bosch. He feeds it to LeBron. Gets it to go.
You know, Kevin, that's just him doing his thing. I mean, that's who he is, launching himself at the basket. I mean, he thrust himself at the basket. He's an angry driver and attacker of the rim.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Elton Brand. Nowitzki, that's for 2. Their shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. Got a piece of it. Wade kicks to Heinrich. And the foul called on Sean Marion. That's his first foul. Timeout called the Heat.
Well, there are quite a few stars who can lay claim to the title right now, but for you guys, who ranks as the true king of slam in the NBA right now. I know for me it's got to be Blake Griffin. The dunks he had this past season were just off the charts.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. He wants to make sure they stay assertive and aggressive on the offensive end, saying, I don't want to sit on this lead. Let's build on it and not give them a chance of coming back. Guys?
Thanks again, Doris.
Shot seems to be a little awry today, just off a fraction. They've got to have him pick it up, though, and soon.
Nicely done. They've really attacked effectively in transition.
There's no doubt about it, Steve. Their quickness has given them an advantage. I mean, I've liked the way they've pushed the ball all game.
Well, Steve, to answer the question you posed, I think I might have to go with Blake Griffin, but only on, you know, the acrobatic circus-like feel it gives all of his dunks, the incredible torque that he musters up to throw that thing down and do it with such a ferocious feel. But that's not saying that I think he's on his way to superstar. I think there are a lot of parts of his game he's got to work on, and work on a lot. But in terms of just his slam dunking, that probably stands out, and Blake would be at top of my list.
Yeah, Kevin, you make a great point. I mean, you know, no question Blake Griffin is the best dunker in the game, but until he develops that consistent jump shot where he can get to the point, like Karl Malone did, where he can turn and shoot over the top of people, he's not going to be a complete player. He's already a great player, but to become a superstar, he needs to...
Well, this fella can rise up there with the best of them.
Just a crazy finish, guys.
He's one of the few players with the athleticism to pull that off.
And that last replay, courtesy of Sprite. Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Carter for three gets the bucket. Carter's got 9 points now in just the second half.
He may not be their top three-point option, guys, but you still got to cover him. I mean, you got to defend him in some form or fashion.
Carter pulls it in.
When you do moves like that and you miss, you know you're going to hear it from your coaches and your teammate.
And the shot is good from Nowitzki.
I got to give them credit, guys. They are shooting their way back into the game 3 points at a time.
And you just had that feeling, Steve, that they'd get hot at some point from deep. And here it is.
And they add to this lead, trying to close this game out.
I think it would take a lot of luck and maybe then some. I mean, it might be time to pack this thing in.
And the jam by LeBron.
Did you see that?
Oh, we got to see that one again, guys. We've got to see that again.
I need a replay. I'm not sure what I just looked at.
Mavericks trailed by 19. And here's Mayo from beyond the arc. Chris Bosh with the rebound.
Well, the defense recognized how dangerous he is out there and got right up on him. Didn't give him any space.
Heinrich passes to LeBron. Over Nowitzki. Offensive rebound. Another shot. And it's Bosh. That time on the assist by Wade. And it's 8 points for Chris Bosh.
You simply have to be able to box out better than that.
Well, you think about the difference in the game, Clark. It's second chance points in this game. I mean, they're just not putting up the same kind of effort as their opponent.
Back to LeBron. LeBron with another miss.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Carter dishes to Mayo. Pass to Nowitzki. Carter outside. Dallas, no good that time either.
A very rough quarter for him as not much is falling right now.
They grab their own miss. Second chance shot, and it's sent back by Nowitzki.
They may have to start looking for some other options because he's really struggling out there.
Shot by Mayo is no good.
Tell you what, the defense has nothing to worry about out there with him shooting. I mean, he can't dial it in from deep this half at all.
Allen with it. Sean Marion covering.
Well, the outcome is not in question now. They've got it all wrapped up.
Agreed. I mean, they're just looking to simply run the clock out now.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game. Count that one.
Exceptional play to take the bump and still get it up and down.
Yeah, way to stay with it and look to finish the play right there.
And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Joel Anthony's checked in for Bosh. Lewis comes in for LeBron. James Jones is checked in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Norris Cole in for Kirk Heinrich. No good on the free throw. Both teams will make substitutions. And the second free throw, good. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Cunningham. And not a good shot for him. They can get better looks than that. Here's Cole. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dream-like games for a coach.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game,